They might have the hardest schedule of anyone in the entire, probably, college basketball.
That's pretty funny.
They played a name another team that played a 5 seed and a 2 seed. Name one team. Go ahead. Use your brain and name one team.
I mean, I don't have the bracket in front of me.
Exactly, because you don't know.
Good evening, degenerates. Welcome back to another episode of March Madness Degen Hours. We are in the Final Four. Just had the Sweet 16 last weekend.
I like it.
I went to the Sweet 16 game and the Elite 8 game. Absolutely electric. We're going to cover all the action that happened last week, talk about the Final Four, talk a little Caitlin Clark. Mike has a fun take on that.
Caitlin.
And we're going to give out our picks for the National Championship. So, whole lot to cover. Let's get right into it. March Madness. All right, so we got to start off by addressing the literal elephant in the room.
Big elephant.
Big elephant in the room.
Big Al.
And give a piss.
Don't give a piss.
Don't give a piss about number 10.
Man,
About nothing but the tide.
Yeah, I haven't heard the end of that all week.
Clemson flag down, Bama flag up.
We beat Arizona in the Sweet 16. Huge upset, which was awesome. Was at the game. Mike and I were at the Clemson-Bama Elite 8 game. Mike was rooting for Clemson then. Something switched up. Something switched up when he got home.
He's a double agent for sure.
He's definitely a double agent, which is weird because he's a Texas
SEC,
fan.
yeah,
I still don't know why he put the Texas flag back up. I mean, what have they done?
I mean, talk
in the
about
last
irrelevance
week?
at its finest.
I mean,
It's just
a completely irrelevant
preemptive
program.
dominance that we're gonna have.
Okay,
it's
but
for the future.
Yeah.
this flag,
It's a future bet.
if you saw,
Baseball, maybe?
It's a future bet.
no, they're not going to succeed in anything.
Okay.
This flag, if you saw on the YouTube short, was sent to our house the morning after the Clemson game by my cousin Andrew's girlfriend, who goes to
Shout out
Bama or went to
Haley.
Bama.
Friend of the pod.
It was at our doorstep in the morning after the game.
Overnight shift
Overnight
doesn't
shift.
disappoint.
I didn't want to put it up, but the guys insisted, so
Dude, it's so funny.
we're
Roll
rolling
Tide.
Tide on the podcast.
We'll see for Rolling Tide.
Gives me the
I hate Alabama.
heebie-jeebies to
Yeah,
look. I hate Alabama. No, you love Alabama.
No, f Bama.
You've been shouting
you've been
Roll Tide
saying
for the
Roll
last
Tide
2
all day.
hours.
Yeah, the dog
You
on
care
you.
about nothing but the job.
No, more the dog on Clemson.
I need some dip for this.
That
episode.
shows you how
predicament.
irrelevant Texas is that he has to be saying Roll Tide to dog on someone else. He
Yeah,
can't
he
like
No.
prop his
Yeah,
own
you
team.
can't just say
Go
like
Buckeyes
hook
or
'em
go-
or
No,
Yeah.
like saying hook 'em has no meaning.
I'm living
Yeah.
in the moment. Come on now.
Horns down, baby.
Same way he found Texas. Saw Bijan Robinson. That's my team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong.
Was Penn State? No,
We're,
it's-
all right,
we don't need to get
we're
into
not,
that.
in a
we're not
haystack,
making
yeah.
this a 4-hour episode.
We could.
No,
could.
no, we're
We
not.
can go there.
No,
We
we're
can
not.
go. I got nowhere to be.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have the Michael conversation?
No.
We got a Michael conversation.
No,
I've been waiting to have
no.
the conversation
No.
for years. Holy shit.
We gotta wait till football season.
Yeah, no.
Don't give my
We gotta
butts
wait
on.
till football
It's
No,
on
season.
the
no,
back
no.
burner for now.
But yeah.
Stay tuned.
As you can see, Bama beat Clemson. They are now in the Final Four. Huge upset in that lower division.
Oh my God.
Everyone was saying Arizona or UNC or Baylor even. Clemson,
Yeah.
no, Bama. It's Bama.
Yeah, it's
Ryan's
Bama.
been on Bama for a while.
Let's go, baby. Two more games.
They've got a hell of a matchup.
Dude, Mark
UConn
Sears.
has walked through their
Yeah.
bracket. I mean, absolutely walked it. What was the score in the
killed
Illinois game?
Everyone.
They went on a 30-0
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, they
in
won
the
by
game.
30
20
every
or
game.
something.
They won by, yeah, I mean, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And also, quick shout out on the UConn SDSU game. On the pod last week, Mario predicted
so close.
UConn SDSU could be an 80-50 game. The
Yeah.
final score, 82 to 52.
That's pretty sharp.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. That's called being
That's why
sharp.
they pay me the big bucks.
That is why they pay me the big bucks.
Portal King.
But yeah, so UConn is going to go up against Bama. We're going to talk about that matchup in a little bit. NC State, what a run. What a run.
They don't
Oh,
work.
yeah.
The 11 seed making out of their
Me and
division.
Ty had NC State last
We
week.
said NC State. We were feeling NC State. I didn't think they would beat Duke, though.
I thought
Duke,
they would just cover.
you knew Duke wasn't that good, but I mean,
yeah. Jesus.
DJ Burns on NC State.
It's moving different.
I mean, he's got to be the coolest guy in the tournament. That guy is just massive.
He's a big
He's
boy.
cooking.
He's the people's champion.
Did
for
you-
sure.
It's Kendrick Perkins 2.0.
Did you see Jokic's comments on him? Jokic has never watched college basketball. He said it was his first game he's watched, and they asked him about DJ Burns. He's like, I really like that guy.
He's just a carbon copy of
Yeah,
him.
he was like, he's got skills and all that, and all the comments were just like, oh my god, like next year is gonna be just DJ Burns and Jokic down low, just passing to each other, wheeling and dealing. That'd be electric.
That is lit.
Put him in the league. And then they're matching up against the unstoppable Zach Edey, and the refs and Purdue. There's a whole coalition behind Purdue. I mean, anytime that guy gets near a basketball, the refs are just ready to go. They've got the whistle.
They got the whistle ready.
Yeah, they're absolutely prepped. But those are the teams they kind of ran through. their divisions respectively. Props to them. 4 teams left, Final Four. So we're going to talk about the games and the national championship odds. But first, Michael had a take on Caitlin Clark and LSU after that game that I feel like we should bring up.
Let's bring it up.
I did. It's time we have the Caitlin Clark
So,
conversation.
in case you missed it, Mario's LSU Tigers
Yep.
played
Trying to go
against-
back to back. They really
trying to
tried.
go back to back. Very talented team. Played against the Iowa Hawkeyes and Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
Caitlin Clark dropped 41 points
Revenge
on them,
game.
12 assists, 7 rebounds. Mike, why don't you share your take with the world on her and we can discuss it?
All right.
The real one, the one you were hanging off to. I don't want you to
No,
change
no,
it
no,
now.
no, no. I'm going with my final take that I've concluded.
So not what you were saying.
But-
So what he concluded.
Let's hear his final one before,
Yeah,
before we
let,
dig in.
let me
This is
lead
not
up
what he was
to let me
initially
lead up to
Let me
why.
mediate this.
Let me lead up to why I got to this. So, for weeks, months on end, I've been hearing nothing but Caitlin Clark, how great he is, how she's like
Wait, that's a good take. I don't mind the take.
Caitlin Clark.
Wait a second, brother.
Wait, I don't
how
mind
great
that. Keep
she
going.
is.
Tuesday.
Yeah, how great she is.
You said he.
Keep going. You said he.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
But it's okay. I mean,
My
it
bad.
could be true. We don't know.
No.
It could be Steph
My
Curry.
bad.
We don't
Yeah.
know.
All respect to you, Miss Clark.
We don't
But
judge. We don't
pretty
judge.
much, here's what I've concluded. My conclusion is that Caitlin Clark is the new Shedeur Sanders and Colorado football team. She is getting all the hype unnecessarily, and she kind of just fits all of the molds that the public and like society is kind of pushing towards. She's a dominant female athlete. She's making absolute bag through NIL, and you can make some people at this table will make a case that she could be good enough to be playing against any gender, against any person. That's where my take comes in. I disagree with that, unbelievably so.
Say it with your chest, bro. Just say the take.
Here's
This is
the
a
thing.
2-minute lead
Yeah,
up.
just say the take.
Yeah, and it deserves the lead up. But Caitlin Clark, if you go to any public school in America with more than 1,000 players or more than 1,000 students, you
High school.
high school, you get the best freshman basketball player of any of those schools. You put them against Caitlin Clark and whatever posse she wants to have. The high schoolers win.
The freshman
The freshman
at
won.
any high school in the country.
And
Any
here's the
public
thing.
school.
Here's the thing. Caitlin Clark is good against her competition. But when you watch the highlights, her moves are slow. She's creating space against defenders who, quite frankly, just aren't good. And that's just it. You go against people who actually
But like connecting the dots here, does that mean Shedeur Sanders would lose to like
anybody decent like he did to Oregon.
But you're talking about high school.
Yeah, you're talking about high schoolers.
What do you lose to high schoolers?
Okay.
Well, he was talking.
No, I'm
the Shedeur
talking
Sanders
more
for,
about
like,
the height.
media.
Yeah, the
Okay.
height. The media
Okay,
height.
that's fair.
But so your take, just to be clear, any high school in America, any public school with like a decent enrollment, 1,000 kids plus,
Yep.
Caitlin Clark
best
and whoever,
the
and whoever she
14-year-old
Five
wanted.
best freshmen.
any school,
The 5 best freshman basketball
or
players.
just like like 5, like we're obviously not talking 1 on 5. Like she has a team.
No, 5 or 5.
So like,
they're,
but
they're
if-
on a
yeah.
team right now.
But if they were to
They're
go
a team
against
right now.
her, that's a crazy take.
I mean,
She would literally, dude. If you go to, we grew up in Redondo Beach.
Yeah.
If you go to the schools around Torrance, you're talking like west, south. Those boys. I mean, even the varsity
North.
team. You know,
The
not
juggernauts.
many above 6 feet.
You said it yourself though. You said so. Okay.
What'd I say?
We went to a.
What'd I say?
What he's
So we went to a
Let me
high
be
school
clear. My
with
whole
like
America.
4,000 kids. In our freshman class, we had a person who was playing
No, that's not.
varsity.
You
I
said
said
any
get
school. Our team was one of the best in the country. That's I'm
Okay,
not talking
alright.
about our school.
Okay.
Obviously, she's not. And you also, your first take, to be clear, was not the 5 best freshmen. It was that the
I
frosh.
misphrased.
No, you did not.
I
You
misphrased.
You stood by that for about 45 minutes.
I-
It was that the Frosh team. So like the freshmen that are on varsity don't count. Whatever it was, your blatant disrespect for the best women basketball player of all time
no.
is psycho.
No, not disrespect. I give her my flowers. She gets my flowers.
What
I'm
are,
giving
what
her
are your
flowers.
What are your
flowers?
flowers?
Yeah, what are your flowers?
She's doing.
Could she beat a say 7th grader?
Yeah, sure.
You said
Yeah,
you said
shoot
eighth grade was
outside,
stretch.
So the line is 8th
Shoot
grade.
outside them.
What about like Zion as a 7th grader?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Zion would probably just dunk on her.
So 6th
I love
grade.
that.
I mean,
So 6th grade.
Well, it depends on who it is.
It depends on the 12-year-old.
Yeah. Come on now. There's a few outliers.
There's
Like
just no
everything.
way.
There's
like
no
out-
way you're
like,
real, dude.
Like everything.
There's no way his brain is really working like this.
I mean,
Oh, it's crazy.
It's just for the clip. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I just
For the fans, Mike's a method actor.
no.
Character he's been working on for years.
I saw what I saw. She passed the eye test against her competition, but
She scored 41 points.
I have a large enough sample.
She was
I have a
shooting-
large enough sample size.
the most points
of-
ever in NCAA history.
And she carried her team to the Final Four.
She
of the
shot
NCAA
45%
I-
from three, shooting 31
I hear what you're
footers.
saying.
The NBA three-point line's 23.5 feet.
Yeah.
She was shooting from
that's
30,
the same size court.
31 feet.
Yeah, I'm telling you that she
45%.
doesn't create the space enough to get a shot off
Against the average, like, freshman at any below average public school.
against certain humans who
You
are.
said any public
You
school.
said any public
Okay.
school.
Let's take the bottom 10% of public schools that will qualify and just throw 5 of the best freshmen. She's cooking them for 900 points.
I mean,
She will score every time, probably 4 points of possession somehow.
she might get blocked a couple times.
Wow, that's
Blocked?
crazy.
She might get swatted a couple times.
I just wanted to bring it up. We don't have to harp on
I
it.
just
was
love that
crazy.
Mike is the judge of like all the athletes because Mike, the athletic prowess that he is.
Ask Mike if he's ever watched Caitlin Clark play one full basketball game.
Oh, okay. all
Just
right,
ask
all
him.
right.
Anyone want to ask him? Mike, can you ask him?
Hey, Mike,
Yeah, Tate, how may I help you?
have you ever seen Caitlin Clark play a full basketball game?
A full game, no.
Oh, half.
Have you ever watched her playing live while the game was still on, not to highlights?
Technically, yes. Kind of.
She was
What-
celebrating.
That's
at
a
the end.
great-
middle
You
ground
walked
there.
in
That's
the
a yes
door.
or no question.
You know, it's on.
That's flipping a coin like heads
It's
or tails.
on in the
That's not-
background while I'm working. I glance over a couple times. You know,
glancing.
it's live.
He's a glance.
Glance.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
oh.
She's on the
Glancer and a
court,
glancer,
you know?
I guess.
All right, I just wanted to throw that out there so we can clip it and he can get flamed in the comments.
No.
But
That's wild.
no
throwing him
respect
to the wolves
No
right now.
respect.
I
No,
gave her
all
my
the Mike
flowers.
lovers, all the Mike lovers, just support, give your boys
No,
some backup
I
over
saw-
here.
I'm trying to be respectful.
I
all
saw
right?
it. That's wow.
That's
if,
a.
if that's what that was, then I'm scared to see the other side of that coin. There was a tweet I really liked yesterday that said, "Holy shit, Caitlin Clark's actually better than Cam Reddish," and I believe that. I stand by that.
wild.
I stand by that.
That's wild.
It said, "Caitlin Clark, congratulations, you are now a Toronto Raptor." I like that one too.
That was
She,
good.
she could be in the league.
No. Absolutely not.
Rotation.
I don't think-
Coming
I don't-
off the bench.
I don't know if we're ready for that conversation.
If they had incentives to beat her, she would never score.
Spoelstra-
She wouldn't have a single
Spoelstra could give her
PRA.
a good 8-9 minutes.
She wouldn't get a
Spot
single
up.
point, rebound, or assist if they had incentive to win the game or not have her.
No.
If you want to hear the explicit version of this conversation, check out our Patreon.
Whoa, whoa.
All right, let's get into some games. Enough Final Four action. Let's go. First of the 2 Final Four games, NC State, the 11 seed, versus the
Wolfpack.
1 seed Purdue Boilermakers. Purdue's got a big spread ahead of them. Purdue minus 8.5. Both these games are big spreads, actually. Totals 145.5. It seems like no one can guard Zach Edey. And if they can't
seems
guard
like he
if they
can't.
if they can't guard him, the refs will make sure he gets to the line.
Yeah.
Guys shooting 20 free
He's
throws a
so
game.
big, he's gonna get fouled.
Tate, how are you breaking down this game? Does NC State have a chance with Burns, or is this just going to be a cook?
I mean, it just seems like Cinderella story for Purdue. Honestly, they might win it all.
Cinderella story for
Cinderella
the
story
one seed.
for the one
For the
seed.
one
It's a wild
seed.
thing.
No, but I mean,
Like
like
the perfect
after
scenario.
losing the first
And then-
round
yeah.
last year, it's kind of like, yeah, this is their
Yeah,
Cinderella
It's in the
thing.
script.
But I really, really please, referees, please just let Burns and Edey just go at it and just let them do what they're gonna do.
They're not
Let
going
them
to.
boys play.
Spoiler alert, it's not going to happen.
I know.
I mean,
but how electric would that be?
it's like Chiefs football games. Like the refs already got on Purdue hats.
Yeah.
Like you know who you're playing against.
If the game goes the same way it did last time, it's the Boilermakers.
Covering the number.
Yeah.
I mean, DJ Burns is not as good as people think. 2 games ago, he did absolutely nothing. Of course, people don't fleece him because people don't care about him. When all of a sudden he has a big game against a program that shouldn't even have been there in Duke, people get all excited.
Shouldn't have been there.
Houston lost their number 1 player that carried them within 13 minutes of the game, and they lost by only 3. I think Houston easily wins if Sheed plays the whole game.
Yeah,
Not even close.
you could make an argument Houston shouldn't have even been in that game.
But no, it's in the game.
They went to overtime. No, I know,
game.
but
I mean,
that's just
that
what
was
happens
a
in
close
March
game.
Madness.
But I mean, someone getting hurt. no one got hurt in the previous.
But I'm saying Houston was healthy and then went to overtime.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's
Barely
fair. That could be a
skated
good game. If someone's not even on the court, you have no idea. I mean, just you don't
All right.
have your full capability. Regardless, I don't think Duke should have been there at all. I thought it was too many points. I liked NC State plus 7. They played a great game. I just think this is even close. DJ Burns is going to get absolutely fucking cooked. Edie's going to have whatever he wants, whenever he wants to. You could talk about the refs. I mean, there's a
We
foul.
will talk about the refs.
But there's a foul on every play, even if you don't want to call it. Like, it's always a foul. He's just bigger. It's like me guarding someone who's 7 foot. I'm going to hit them, but I don't think it's a foul because I just think they have an advantage because they're bigger. Every move he makes is a foul. They're just, sometimes they call it more than they should, I guess. He's going to have 30. He's going to have 20 rebounds. Burns, I think will have less than 10 points. I don't even think he'll score 10 points. It should be a murder. NC State only goes through Burns, and if you watch him every other game, he scores like 8 or nothing. So I don't know why.
I'll take that side bet. We had a side bet last week on the UConn-Illinois game.
Yeah, I mean
That one, I'll roll over that 100 to that he has
under
more
10
than
and a half.
done. He'll have over 10 points. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't think he's
you go.
I don't think
This
he
is how you
scores
run
at
it
all.
up on the pod.
Edie's just not only because he has to face someone that's just the complete opposite of him, like faster and taller. Normally it's someone like at least like Filipowski last week was skinny and he was a little bit taller, but like not athletic, couldn't move. Edie, you just can't. I mean, you're not gonna get past Edie.
Filipowski can move. He's
He
pretty
is-
athletic.
he is
He
not
shoots
good.
threes. He moves around, brings it up.
That's great. I mean, he's not good. I mean, he's not even probably top 3 player on his team. But I just think Edie's going to absolutely... Purdue's going to kill him just like they did last week. I was off Purdue thing, and then 3 weeks ago I said, what the fuck am I doing? They have the best player in the country. Watch what the best player in the country does. He's going to have 30 points, 20 rebounds. Easily. Without even a sweat.
So Purdue covers you.
Purdue wins by 20.
You like the total?
I mean, I'm just going to bet the over because I think maybe they don't care about NC State scoring. Like, it might be like 87 to like 65 or some shit.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I disagree strongly with a few of those takes. The Edie being the best player in the country, I don't agree with.
Who's better?
I mean, Kinnett's better.
He just whooped his ass 1v1.
Not really. I mean, Kinnett, I think objectively played a better game. What did Edie go to the line 22 times?
That's
20?
his job. I mean, that's
But no, I'm
his
just,
job.
I mean,
he had
it's not like
40 and 20.
Kinnett's not scoring all of his points on free throws. The guy had 37 points, 39, whatever he had, off of threes, moving the ball. Like, he looked to me like the best player in that game.
Yeah.
Edie's just the tallest player. Like, he's not
playing
He
against
takes up the
men.
No,
most
it wasn't-
Put him in the
space,
NBA.
like-
And
he
also,
won't score
he's
10
doing
whenever
it
they
every
play,
single
and
week.
you can say there's a foul on every play. It seems like a pretty consensus, at least in the like
Game.
general
You
sports.
weren't saying this 2
sphere.
weeks ago. You weren't saying
About
it 3
what?
weeks ago. You weren't
About the
saying it 4
fouls?
weeks ago.
We-
Yeah.
we- he
No,
did say
I
that.
was. We've been saying that the whole tournament.
Yes.
We're saying Purdue gets to the line.
No, the
That's
refs
theirs.
call the way they call games with Edie is the most lopsided thing I've ever seen, and that's not a new take, and that's also a pretty consensus sports take. If
Because
you
they
like,
foul him every single time.
they don't.
They don't.
They don't. It's
So
like
you think the refs are just giving it? It's rigged. They're just giving it to Edie because
the way they call the
That's
Zach
crazy.
Edey games. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's anytime he
disagree.
touches the ball, if he misses a shot, it's a whiggle.
Yeah.
Like 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So like I don't think put it this way,
crazy.
I don't think he's the best player in the country.
Yeah.
We'll see how high he gets drafted.
No, not about
I
drafting.
don't think-
right now. Right now, the best player drafting is completely different because you could look for your future. You could think Edie's not. A lot of college basketball players don't resonate in the NBA. That's a 100% different world. The best player in the country right now could not be the same. Like
Well,
the
if he's the
drafted
best,
player.
I mean, if he's the best player in the country and he's 7'3", you'd think he'd be.
But there's NBA is a loaded 7-3 people. It's just in college. There's
There's
no
not
one.
many 7'3" guys in the NBA.
But like that can.
What is there? 2?
But I'm saying there's scores. You don't like scores are harder to look to come by than just big guys in the NBA.
What?
Like
Well,
out of
there's no-
college, scores are harder to come by. Like you want to draft scorers, like people that can bring up the ball and score, especially in the new NBA.
No, but all I'm saying is there's no one who's 7'3" and scores. Like he's dropping 30 a game.
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't.
In college, though, do I think he's gonna do the same in the NBA? No. But because he's in college
yeah.
and the people he plays, he's the most dominant player in
Sure.
college.
Oh yeah, I agree. Right now he's the most dominant player.
But he's not the best
player.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
difference between dominance and
100%.
I have no
best
idea
player.
what
The guy in
is.
Illinois, what was his name?
The guy who had
Terrence
shot 1 for
Shannon.
13.
Yeah.
even though
As a
Zach
player,
Edey's got
he's a
30.
much better player. Than
Edey
Zach
had
Edey
30
is.
every game with 15 rebounds, no matter who he plays all year.
And Kmet's
Terrence
much
Shannon
better.
every single
I think
week.
Kinnett's a better player.
Knet was shot 1 for 11 to start the game 2 weeks ago or whatever.
He had 37 last week.
Yeah, Edey had 40 and 20.
Okay.
But then 2 weeks ago, Edey had 30 and
Half his
18.
points are
Then
from-
2
I'm
weeks
not
ago,
arguing about statistics. I said he's been the most dominant player, but it's strictly because of the way the game's called.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's-
if you think in the
all
Elite
his
8 game,
points
the
are-
refs are just going, oh, here, let's just give you fouls. That's crazy.
Exactly.
That's not.
That's
That's a good. People don't
Worded it
just rig
perfectly.
games.
That's just said it better myself.
That's crazy. People don't just rig games just because you think so. Like,
It's not just like, oh, we're gonna rig the game. It's just like they don't know how to call the
Officiate
game.
it.
Yeah,
Officiate
but
it.
why is
Yeah.
it different than anyone else?
Because there's
if
no one
someone
else who's
smacks the
7
hand-
foot 3.
pretty much
No,
there
if it
hasn't
was
been a player
it was
like him in college
if
since
someone-
like Shaq.
Exactly.
But they're not just calling random. Oh, watch the game next time, and you'll show me every foul that wasn't a foul. You can
I mean,
go
you could
one
look
by
at any
one.
game, like any game he's played. It's the
We
same
could
thing.
watch it. I mean, you might not think it's a foul, but it's a foul according to college rules. Like if he hits him on the arm.
But it's like not
bumps him.
consistent with other players, you know.
Yeah,
It's like
and-
specifically just
because
him.
he's in the line, gets touches the ball 5 times as much as any other player. That helps. He probably touches the ball 60%.
I'm just saying, this isn't a hot take, by the
Yeah.
way. If it's like you listen to anyone who like comments on the game, I'd say probably 90+% of the commentary was about the refs and the fouling.
Yeah.
Like there were players, I don't know if it was Skip Bayless or Shannon, or it was one of the big guys that said, this game is unwatchable.
Yeah.
Like I can't, like this, you cannot watch them play basketball. It's the most unenjoyable thing of all time because they're calling a foul on
much
every single
ref
play.
interference.
And then the other team is in foul trouble 100% of the time.
Yep.
And it's not. So like, I don't know. I don't think it's that hot of a take. But Purdue's been dominant because of this. I think I love NC State staying in this number. Purdue hasn't looked like that spectacular in my mind. They have a good team. They have really 2 players, their point guard and Edie.
Who does NC State have?
I mean, they're just the Cinderella team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Burns has
it's
been
just
like
a
the
team. They're just
highlight
the
player.
hottest team.
But this is the hottest. We've been saying it since the beginning of the tournament.
Burns' stats if you want.
No, I'm saying Burns is the player that everyone's talking about, but it's not like no one's saying he's the one carrying them. They're just the Cinderella.
It's just a team,
We said
yeah.
it since week 1. We said it. The next game, Sweet 16 game, Elite 8 game. We've said it every week. Hottest team in basketball.
Yeah.
They have the hottest team in basketball. They are not scared from anyone. We've said they think they can beat anyone.
Yeah.
They've already beat the North Carolinas of the world and all them.
I mean, they made the tournament beating Clemson, Duke, North Carolina.
Yeah,
and then
they
they
beat
ripped
everybody.
off an insane
4 in a row or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like them staying close. I think Purdue's gonna edge them out and win, but I really hope not. That's the long-winded way about it.
Yeah, I am probably gonna say this a little differently, but I'm pretty much on the similar side as Ty. This is gonna be a lot more of a hard take, but I think Purdue is the most overrated team, and I think they've been the most overrated team for a while. Their side of their bracket. Okay, if we're looking at their entire side, it was, in my opinion, Tennessee and Houston, and both those teams are out. And
They didn't have to play Houston.
no, I know, but they,
Oh, you're saying on that half
on
of
that
the bracket.
side
Sure.
of
the good
on the
teams,
side
yeah.
of the bracket, right? And so I think it's been not a difficult path for them to get here. Their hardest game last week was against Gonzaga. Gonzaga was,
They might have the hardest schedule of anyone in the entire, probably, college basketball.
That's pretty funny.
They played a 5 seed. They played name another team that played a 5 seed and a 2 seed. Name one team. Go ahead. Use your brain and name one team.
I mean, I don't have the bracket in front of
Exactly,
me.
because you don't know.
All I'm
That's
saying,
crazy to say that they haven't played. I mean, they probably have the hardest road. They've had to play a 5 and a 2 seed. I don't think anyone had to play a 2 seed.
I mean, yeah, exactly as I was saying. I don't think Gonzaga being that 5 seed that you're talking about was necessarily as dominant as we've seen other 5
I
seeds.
think they were better than people thought.
Dude, Mike
Really?
Mike didn't watch one lick of basketball, and he's just making up takes. Like
It was a
like,
close game until
Oh.
the second half, and then it just got outside
Yeah.
10.
And
Either
it's
way,
the refs
just,
whooped
you know.
up on Kansas, and they.
Either way, because of all of that, and because NC State is, as previously mentioned, the hottest team in the tournament, I'm gonna ride the Wolfpack. So NC State here, take the points.
I also don't know if that schedule is the hardest. They played Grambling. They played Utah State, who they beat by 40. They beat Gonzaga by
Easy.
12, and then
No, just look at
Tennessee.
the number, like who they had to play. The 2 of 5.
16,
and
8, 5, 2.
Yeah, show me
And
a better resume.
What?
NC State.
I mean, it's the same. That's
No,
the,
they played 15 Oakland.
but no,
they
that's the
played 4
same. That's
Duke.
the same as every 1 seed, like UConn,
But I'm saying,
right?
No,
Didn't UConn play the 16, the winner, the 8,
no,
9,
they
and then
got
the
to play
5,
the
and then
4. It wasn't Illinois 3 or 4.
Illinois is
It
the
was
3.
three.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
3
but
instead
that's
of 2.
I mean, that's not that different from Tennessee, but.
I mean, I just thought Tennessee was way better. They could almost been a 1 seed. They were much better than.
I mean,
It's not that
the
crazy.
team that, Iowa State was better than, or they beat Houston in their tournament. People were saying they should have been the number 1 overall 2 seed. They were the 2 overall 2 seed.
Yeah, they didn't
And
have to play,
Illinois
they didn't
beat
have to
them.
play Iowa State.
No, Illinois beat them.
Yeah, I'm talking about the people who have
Solidly.
to play.
It was 9.53 for UConn and 8.52 for Purdue's. I mean,
Yeah, I'm just
virtually
saying,
the same
it
thing.
was just
Pretty much the same.
It's
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
Okay, but it's the same thing. It just helps my argument.
It is what
It's
it
the
is.
most overrated thing, but okay.
All right, Mario, go ahead.
This is tough because I really believed in NC State. Like I wholeheartedly believed that they would actually get here. Just maybe the Duke game, but I don't know. I just felt like they were that special team. They had that energy. I know how teams are. I mean, I played sports. I know when you're an underdog and you kind of upset. It doesn't really matter what seeding you are or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're
you
the
just,
Cinderella.
You're just a
Cinderella.
team. It's just players versus players. You think your team can match up against anyone. So I know they're going into this game. The 11 doesn't even
That means
really
nothing.
matter. It means
Yeah,
nothing.
it means nothing.
At this point. It's just hard for me to get past. Honestly, it's just the refs. I just think it'll be close in the first half, and then it'll be similar to the Gonzaga game, where just as the game goes on, Purdue. I mean, they're a good team. I don't know. I just think Edie right now, he's the most dominant player.
Yeah.
He's gonna get 20 points, and then he's gonna get another 20 from the free throw line. It's just how it is. So I could see Purdue covering this. I really hope NC State does stay within the number. Personally, I'm not going to bet this, but I would, if I were to give out a side, I would give out Purdue covering.
Okay.
So
There you have it. I think that were me and Mike the only ones in NC State.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pulling for them. I'm going
It's
to
your
be
wolf
rooting for
pack, Mike.
Woo.
Were you down with the Wolfpack last week?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's back on. He's back on the wolf pack. He's
Yeah.
back on the wolf pack.
Ride the wolf.
Next game, big game. Alabama, UConn. UConn minus 11.5. Totals 160.5. Mario. Huge spread.
Huge spread.
Huge spread. UConn has been just a buzzsaw.
Yeah. And I think they're going to continue to be a buzzsaw. When you have a team that's already won this tournament coming back and they're as hot as ever, I think there's just nothing on their mind where they don't win this game. And I just think just the form they're in right now. I mean, there's arguably they look like the best team.
It's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Like Purdue will win by 20, but it's really choppy and the game stops every 2 seconds. But I mean, we saw against Illinois, UConn just goes on a 30-0 run. They just go ballistic.
Yeah, here are the scores of their first 4 games of the tournament. 91-52, 75-58, 82-52, 77-52.
Yeah.
None of those
They're not close.
with 10 minutes left in the game are even watchable.
Yeah.
You turn it off to watch them else.
So yeah, I think the spread's big for a reason. I got UConn minus the 11.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we talk about teams that, I guess since the Sweet 16 have kind of been just taking it and running with it, UConn has been that clear, just far out best, most dominant team. Tyler literally just called out the final score of everything, and shout out Tyler, going with him to the Elite Eight game with Clemson versus Bama. Clemson kept it really close, and it was probably the tightest game that Bama has played so far. At least, the final score might not say so, but there was definitely a good point with 8 minutes to go where Clemson, if they converted their free throws, if they converted some of their field goals,
Don't
or
bring up the free throws.
they went 50%.
Could have been a different game.
Yeah,
Shot
it absolutely
50%
could have
from
been
the
a
free
different game. UConn is not going to have that problem, and I think their offense is. It's obvious that they're more potent than Clemson.
A little.
Yeah, just a little. And their defense has been doing that work. It's been doing that thing. So UConn by a million, a trillion, alt spread UConn, and their average has been what, covering by 18?
More than that.
All right.
They won by 30 and
alt spread
25
UConn
last
minus 18.5.
Yeah.
Like that.
Mic down, mic drop.
I'm really interested at the total in this game more so than the spread. UConn wins this game by 1 billion points. Alabama does not keep this close at all. But UConn's opponents, 3 of the 4 games, they've scored exactly 52 points. The other game, they scored 58. So the total being at the 160.5 number is interesting.
Bama's the number one
Because
team
of
in the country.
Bama's average point score.
No,
in the
exactly.
tournament.
And so what I'm saying is, but I mean, you saw the same thing with, San Diego State underscoring their average by 20 plus points. Illinois doing the same thing. I mean, UConn's been able to just absolutely stifle teams.
Yeah.
Like they get nowhere near their average per game.
Yeah.
The total's making it seem like they think Bama is going to be able to score at least a little bit, but UConn's still going to win by a lot. So I love the over here. I think somehow this game scores a lot of points. It might be UConn scoring 100 and Bama scoring 70, but I love the over for some reason, just like gut feeling. And then I think UConn just walks away because, I watched that Bama team. They're great.
They're beatable.
Mark Spears, I mean, awesome point guard, really, really good, but I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I'm not going to go against my train the whole tournament. I'm going to be picking Bama money line here, just riding it with them to win. I just think we're in the tournament. If we're going to talk about NC State beating anyone, I think we talk about Bama beating anyone after they just beat what a lot of people thought was one of the best teams in the tournament in North Carolina, if not a top 3 tournament that could win it all. So I think very easily Mark Sears can just have that game. Grant Nelson can have that game, and they can keep this close. I actually think scoring is everything in these deep games, and the teams that UConn have played haven't been able to clutch up and score. I think Bama's the team that they don't need their 80-point game that is a boost for most teams. That's their bad game. Like, their good games are 85-point games. So I think they'll be able to hang with them. UConn's defense is that good, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they get stifled. But I'm not just going to go against Mark Sears. I think he's going to drop 30. If Grant Nelson has a good game, anything can happen. And this Bama team has beat an insane amount of good teams all year. They're battle tested for sure, so I like Bama here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think your Bama is kind of like my NC State money line, where it's just like you picked your team in the tournament, and you're just like, I'm going to ride these guys money line every game.
No,
So
I actually
principle.
think this is a good spot, too. I mean, I think 11.5 points in just a Final Four games.
what's the money line on
Very
that?
crazy. It's probably plus like 450,
Like
480.
3? Oh,
Also, speaking of Tyler picking a team, his original was McNeese, or what he said was McNice. But
Oh,
they
yeah.
were not.
Well, that's what
490.
killed me in my bracket.
490.
490.
That's
yeah.
some juice right
That is
there.
some juice.
That is
I
some
might have to
juice.
For
sprinkle
a Final
some.
Four game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that. I mean, I already have them to win at plus 2,300.
It
I
makes
was gonna
sense.
say
It's minus
their
11.5.
their live odds to win are plus 1,300.
Yeah. I have a
So-
little more juice than that.
Yeah. Tate.
I'm gonna have to agree. I really like Alabama, especially to cover the 11.5. I kind of think this one, if I'm not mistaken, the 146th best defense in all of college basketball this year out of 151 teams has
Bama?
Yeah.
has actually been a little better than everyone had anticipated throughout the year. And I watched a lot of the UConn and San Diego State game, and it was just like, for the beginning of the game, it was a lot of scoring, and then they kind of like just slowed up a ton. I mean, wow, how many bricks in a row I saw UConn put up after offensive board brick, offensive board brick, offensive board brick. Like, they are a good defensive team. And I think Bama stepped it up a little bit here. So I actually really like the under, and I love Bama to cover this 11.5 because, like we've said many, many, many times before, all UConn does is have to win. I think 11 is a lot of points for a team that's as hot as Bama and is as good on offense as that team is. So, I mean, I know UConn's been blowing out teams, but I think Bama's going to be a really great test because they're really hot. And they're
Do you think
playing-
Bama can win outright?
Yeah, I think they can win outright.
Ooh.
I like the under.
I think
like the
they
under.
shocked a
Don't
lot of
forget about the
people
cover.
already
The
beating
cover in the under
North
makes
Carolina.
sense.
I think
Yeah.
they
Really
could
quick,
beat UConn as well.
If you think that Bama has a chance of covering or of even winning, I think his name is Marcus Pringle. Bet his over rebounds. That guy gets a million trillion to
If
keep
you're going
him
to
in
bet
the
someone
game.
on Bama and you think they're going to win, bet
Okay, Sears.
Sears.
Yeah,
points.
okay.
They're not
But
going to win
Pringle,
unless he has 25 plus.
Pringle rebounds. That guy is a rebounding
You're a
machine.
big Pringle guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
I'm
gets
big
four.
Pringle.
He gets his four rebounds.
It's Nick Pringle.
Yeah, Marcus Pringle, Ben Pringle, whatever.
All right.
Pringle
well,
chips, whatever.
me and Tate, we're on opposite sides of
Yeah,
that game.
Pringle
We're going to be on the
chips.
exact
I know.
opposite. We're riding against each other. But before we go, we're not going to be filming before the championship.
Oh, yeah,
No.
facts.
So I have the live championship odds here. I'll read them out, and then everyone give me with the current odds, your best bet. So not like who you think is going to win. Obviously, I mean, like, I'll read it off first. UConn's minus 185. So obviously, that's like the who you think is going to win safe bet.
Just the
But
favorite,
what's
yeah.
the best bet given the current odds? It might still be UConn. And you might be like, hey, lay the number. UConn minus 185 to win the championship. Purdue plus 190. Alabama plus 1,300. And NC State plus 2,000. Tate, I'm gonna start with you, and we'll go around.
I mean, I think just the absolute pure like talent and heat of this Alabama team at plus 1,300 is too much value to pass up on.
On 2 games. It's only 2
Actually, I mean,
games.
imagine if I don't know. Yeah, seriously. I mean, yeah, it's 2 games. I mean, if they've already beat a 1 seed, if they beat another 1 seed, they could beat. They play Purdue or
Yeah.
NC State in the final. Who's to say they can't do it again? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, they're playing the hardest team in the tournament, but if they can get it done this week, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that do think they can get it done. I think the value is there for sure.
Okay, so you're going Bama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already have Bama to win the whole thing pre-tournament, but I think actually the best odds here are Purdue at plus 190, only because they're the only team that might not have to play a 1 seed twice. Like they might, NC State's gonna have to beat UConn, and probably according to the spread will have to beat Purdue next, which are 2 1 seeds, or other way around, Bama's gonna have to beat UConn and then play Purdue and beat them. So I just think the best odds for only have to beat a 1 seed once or not have to play them at all is Purdue, and you're getting plus almost 2 to 1 on that. And I think you bet. I'm a big player guy. You're betting on the best player in the tournament, in my opinion, and he's gonna roll over these teams. So
Yeah. My one thing, I don't disagree with Purdue there because I think, like if you think they're going to walk over NC State, you're saying plus 190. What do you think the spread or the money line in just a UConn Purdue game would be?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Is it that
Minus
different?
1.5.
Is it that different? No, but I'm saying, you think it's like almost even money?
Got to be 140 at best.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. I was going to say, I feel like the money line for Purdue against UConn would be very similar to plus 190. Like, you feel like it'd be like
Oh,
UConn
no.
minus 230.
think-
So I almost don't
I
see
think-
a reason to bet it now.
I think these odds suggest that it would be a lot closer.
Yeah.
It's not that
Because you
big.
got to understand,
Yeah.
you got to understand that they wouldn't
then-
they wouldn't put them at plus 190.
Wait, so then UConn, you're saying, would be like minus 120?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's be
Plus
closer
110.
to.
So there'd be
I
no
don't think-
reason to
but
bet
no, I think what he
UConn.
said's right. Like plus 140. Yeah, like
best,
minus.
like,
Yeah,
if
at best. Yeah, like minus 160.
maybe they like you. Maybe UConn blows them out and Purdue.
So there's no reason
actually-
to bet UConn at the
I was
minus
gonna say it actually
105.
makes no sense to bet UConn now because if
Well,
they
unless
play
you-
Purdue,
But
in
that's
the
my point. Is
final,
I think
yeah.
they're saying with these odds,
You're gonna get better odds
Yeah,
on UConn. in the
right now
final.
that's why I say Purdue's the best bet because I think the odds you're getting at best. Obviously, if you like the other
Yeah.
2 teams, but UConn just a waste of money. I mean, you could literally get the same number after sweating out a game without what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah.
Right.
No, I'm telling you, I don't think this is gonna happen. But if you're talking the best bet, there's 2 basketball games left. It's plus 2,000 with NC State. I mean, they're the Cinderella team, like we've been saying all. Are they gonna probably beat Purdue? No. If they beat Purdue, would they probably win the championship? No. It was very, very improbable for them to get this far as it is. So they're arguably the hottest team in basketball. They have all the momentum and the confidence in the world. So you're getting them at 20 to 1. I think it's, as far as value goes, like I think these Purdue and UConn numbers, very similar to what you get in a championship game. Maybe you get Purdue a little less, plus 150, and UConn, whatever, like you said, minus 160. It's not that difference of it. Like you're not that different. If NC State wins this game, they're not going to be 20 to 1. They're not going to even be plus 1,000. It'll be, whatever, the plus 400 or 500 it is. So I think as far as value goes, NC State.
Yeah, I compared this to the college football championships 2 years ago, or I guess the start of the playoffs 2 years ago, where it was like Ohio State versus TCU, and then Georgia versus who did they play in?
Ohio State,
Or-
Georgia, TCU, Michigan.
Oh yeah, Ohio State, Georgia, TCU, Michigan. Yeah, same idea. Not the same idea. Sorry, but
Similar.
it's
That's just why you gotta bring that up.
Sorry.
You gotta bring that game up.
thought process is pretty much, it's like one side of the bracket is clearly better than the other. Said it before, I'm gonna say it again. I don't think Purdue's side of the bracket without Houston or Tennessee shows much competition. I think you do what is called laddering, where you bet UConn at minus 185 now, and regardless if their odds go up or down, you put another few units on them after when they're going into a championship.
Bet the house now and then
Um,
bet more of the house later.
Yeah, it's a secondary
Yeah,
mortgage.
That's the
Yeah.
definition of value.
Yeah.
You got to start with 2 houses.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the key component here.
you
Set
need
the
money to
mortgage.
make money.
Wait, I
so
have a
come
question
on.
real quick. If Bama beats UConn in a world, I know you don't think so, and you think UConn wins by 30. If Bama beats UConn, that means no matter what, you're betting Bama in the championship next week. According to what you've been stating for the
Roll
past 25, 30 minutes. Because you've been saying that side of the bracket is so much better.
doesn't care about nothing.
Unless
no-
unless fantasy scenario, it's NC State versus Bama, then I'll probably
Fair.
go back to the Wolfpack.
That's fair.
But just because of
Just for the
not-
Cinderella story.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Just
just
for
trying to
the
use
That's fair.
what you've
That's
been
fair.
saying and put it forward.
Give me an NC State Bama. Let me bet
That'd
this
be-
21.
that'd be-
Mario,
would be-
before we go,
God.
who's the
Cash
best
out.
odds?
I do think it is. I do think it's Purdue, just because. Regardless, I mean, UConn just has a harder route, and their number's not that great. And then you look at Bama's number, yeah, it's good, but like they just had to play 1 seed North Carolina. They're gonna have to play UConn. If they beat them, they're gonna have to play most likely one
Another
seed
1 seed,
Purdue.
yeah.
Like 3 1 seeds in a row. You're betting on a team to win, 3 games in a row. They'll probably lose 1. So it's a good number, and I see the value in it, but like I just don't think that it's gonna hit. So I think plus money, almost 2-1 on Purdue. I mean, and regardless if you agree or disagree on the refereeing, I mean they do have the most dominant player. So I just think
Because of the refs.
yeah, like I said,
Not true.
I mean he is also 7'3" and
Yeah.
He still
scores.
gets
He is
24
definitely the most
20.
dominant.
he's definitely
He's
one
definitely
of.
the
I don't know about
tallest.
the best.
I
but
mean, he's definitely
most
one of the
dominant.
best
But yeah,
players.
so
Definitely
it
the
seems like a lot
tallest.
of people really liking Purdue.
Real quick,
Yeah.
just for the, what do you think the spread would be if it was UConn versus NC State in the championship?
Oh my God.
Because Bama's is 11.5. It has to be more, right?
They're 14
Marginally
and a half.
more. Marginally
14 and
more.
a half.
13.5.
Oh,
Marginally
really?
more.
14 and a half.
Okay. I was just wondering because if you were
Probably around.
betting,
No, like I think it would be not too different, but it'd be a little outside.
I think it would be.
Just because you see the difference, like what was the spread they had against Illinois? 9.5, I think.
Yeah, I think
9.5, and it's not that different for
only
Bama, so I think
11 and a
it'd
half.
be another 2
That's why-
points. or
that's why I
something,
think
but
13
yeah.
and a half.
Yeah,
13
another
and a
2
half.
points. But all right, there you have it. People like Purdue. I like NC State. Tate, before the people go and enjoy this
gosh.
championship weekend, tell them what they
Let
need to
'em
do.
know.
You know what to do. We're wrapping up the March Madness. Lots of
Wrap.
content coming your way. Like, comment, subscribe, share us with a friend, turn that notification bell on. We got content coming your way.
Bang! Going that way.
Go Wolfpack.
Full time,
Not
baby.
this way.
No,
Not
not
that way.
That's 22.
Not that way or either. Just that way. Yahweh.
Horns down.